Hello everyone, and welcome back to EXAPUNKS. It's so convenient. You guys can't see it, but the game window actually shows its name in the top left corner, so I don't have to remember what the name is called. That happened a lot when I was playing like Into the Breach. I was like, what is this game again? Because like I'm sort of used to saying hello everyone and welcome to, and like that part's on autopilot, but then I'm like, oh no, I have to say the name of the game. And EXAPUNKS is such a weird name that if it weren't written just up here where you guys can't see it, I would forget. Okay, so we just fixed up our hand, and now we're going to modify the Sawayama Wonder Disc, so it'll play games from a different region. Right, and we got that gift from Isadora. Wonder Disc games are restricted by region locks. Why? Business? Artificial scarcity? You wouldn't want gamers importing titles too easily. The less effort it takes, the less special it is. Oh, look at that, it's got like a chip. This area is locked. Modify your Wonder Disc, which normally only plays SSEA region games, to play games from any region. The SSEA region code is available in file 300. SSEA. Very good. And it recommends reading the manual, Sawayama Wonder Disc. That seems reasonable enough. Where's the manual? There it is. Page 14. Region locking basics. Yep, there's a thing. Unfortunately, it's locked down inside the reality processor, which is well defended and inaccessible. But there's ways in. The disk drive. It's possible to connect to a debug port on the disk drive and inject EXAs into the disk controller.
Let's go.
Then read track. I see. Okay, so unlocking the disk drive. It must be unlocked by the Wonder Disc before you can read it. When you're not modding your console, this happens automatically, but you'll need to provide that key yourself. Fortunately, the key is like the same for everything. And we don't have it in a... Hang on, do I have to? Yeah. Where do I enter it? I don't quite understand that part. There's a buffer host. Do we, oh, we write it to auth, I guess? Yeah, auth is not mentioned in this document, but I do see it in, in the game screen. Right, there's an auth register here. So I guess when we do that, this will open up, and then we'll have a link number we can go over to get into the disk drive. And then we'll read this track, transfer a message to this thing saying read that track, but replace the region lock thing, part of it. And then we'll drop it off over here. And we're not supposed to leave no trace. Yeah, it should be written to perform anytime it asks for a read, we'll send it that modified value. Because we own this hardware. Got it. Okay. Well, the first thing to do is just unlock everything, right? So let's link to 800. And then these numbers are kind of a pain. There's not any obvious pattern to them. Do I just have to write like 16 copy instructions, or is there something more clever? I could copy 4 at a time and then use like modular arithmetic to copy it in, but it doesn't really seem much better. So let's just do this whole stupid thing by hand. Copy 8 into auth. We'll just copy this whole line here, paste it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I don't know, a lot of times. And the numbers are 0, 3, 2, 7, 1, 0, 4, 9, 5, 1. Oops. 4, 9, 5, 1, 2, 5, 2, 6, and that's all. Okay, so let's see what happens when we run this. Oh, this is lighting up. Isn't that cute? Whoa! Okay. Now we're allowed in here over link 801. And we'll read from track. A number. Go in here, grab the relevant file, I assume. Right, so tells you to read a track, you read from that file, okay. And then just edit it. So what do these files look like? I see. They have many different instances of That's a little tricky, actually, isn't it? Because there's no easy way to test whether a thing is a keyword or not. And I can't do like a search and replace for SSEC because I don't have anything telling me SSEC is the region code, right? So what do I get if I read from track next? $209 is all I get. And let's say I do it again, right? Oh, I see. It tells me here what will be coming in. It's just the name of a request. It doesn't tell me like what region it was looking for or something. So what is Is there some place I can get a handle on the region that we're expecting? I don't see one. The region we want to replace, I mean. None of these host names are relevant.
Let's go.
And I assume if I copy from the track again, it'll just like freeze, basically. Oh no, I see. It's got a bunch of different track requests, but they're all like just numbers. Is there something in the manual about how something that would let me determine whether a thing is a number? Swizzle like only works on numbers. That's interesting, and so do add and so on, right? So Where was the bit about reacting to errors? Are there any kinds of error hints that might help? Did I miss it? Math with keywords. Yeah, I mean, I thought of that. I need to somehow identify, like, a keyword in that file. What happens if I read from auth after doing this, or before doing it? Buffer is write only, so we cannot get any values out of auth. This is... I just don't know what to try. Like, there's plenty of ways you can detect that a thing is a keyword. You can just, like, add a number to it and it'll blow up. But that's not helpful, right? I need to... react in a productive way, which means I need to detect that some other exa has blown up, I guess. Right? But I can't do that? I mean, I can test whether the region code is equal to the region code I want it to be, but it won't be. And neither will the numbers, for that matter. So that doesn't distinguish them in any interesting way. And these are not in, like, a predictable place in every file or something, right? Yeah, they're just sort of scattered all over the place. So I could read a value off the file and say transfer it somewhere, transfer it to another exa, or maybe make a copy of it locally and then transfer it, with the expectation that that exa will write it down. So, here's a weird thought, okay? What if I transfer the number, all right, or the value that I need to copy, and then I next transmit either a 1 or a 0 or something like that, saying you should go ahead and write that, or please instead write the current region code. And I can have two different exas one of them that only lives if the thing was a number and transmits a 1 saying go ahead and write that value, and another one that only lives if the thing wasn't a number, when that one transmits a 0. And then in either case, they both pick the track back up and continue. But it's not so easy to continue, is it? Because you lose your file pointer. So you'd have to store the number somewhere. Well, I guess in your, I mean, you have a register, and when you're forking, you keep it, so that would be possible. But, geez, there's not even a room. I guess there is room to replicate in that little tiny disk area, as long as you've already picked up a file. Seems very cumbersome. But what else am I supposed to do? Oh, also no, there is sort of room, right? We don't have to make a new file here. We can make the new file here, have a receiver, right? It's a bit awkward for this guy to receive new. Know when to finish reading a file, isn't it? Like, we have to transmit a special "I'm done" message as well. So now there's like 3 different messages that he has to listen for. He listens for a value, and if it's 0, then he says, "Oh, I guess I must be done," and drops the track. If it's something else, then he saves it, say, to the file, and then reads another number which tells him whether to overwrite the value he just wrote with the region code that he has handy, right? This is all quite complicated. Is there any other way to detect this keyword? Because that would make everything so much simpler. I don't think there is. The only way to tell a keyword from a number is to blow up if it's a keyword, right? So we first replicate a new EXA whose job is to wait around and see if we died, and otherwise to be killed itself. And then have one of them transmit a message here and then pick up the job of copying. Okay, I mean, I guess that's what you gotta do. We'll just have this EXA here be buffer EXA. And he's gonna link 800 twice, and then mark new. He makes a file and copies M into A. It would be quite convenient if he had some way to save this region indicator, right? Otherwise, it's going to be quite difficult. I think we can afford to have him put it into X. And then just use the file for all our temporary storage, right? And T for our tests. So let's start, in fact, then by grabbing file 300, copying F into X, and dropping it. Now he copies M straight into F, seeks backwards to test the value he just wrote. Test F equal to -1. And we'll say that that means that he's done with the file, right? So what we do is T-jump to end, mark end as seek -1, void the file data that we just wrote, and drop it and jump back to new to start a new track. Otherwise, the value wasn't -1. And we can test whether M equals -1 this time. Because we don't care about the value anymore that was sent. We can just use it as a flag to determine whether we should go back and overwrite. So if it was not -1, then we can just jump back to this new byte instruction, right? Otherwise, we need to seek -1, copy X to F, and then jump back to byte, right? So we receive a first message that tells us whether there are any more bytes coming. Here. And we copy it to the file, because we can't put it anywhere else. We receive some value, which is either a -1 or an actual number value. Either way, we put it on the file, and then go back and read what we wrote, and see if it was -1. If so, we end the file. Otherwise, we read another byte and use that to determine whether we should overwrite the value with our region indicator, right? So test M equal -1. If it was -1, then we go overwrite the thing with our special indicator. Otherwise, we leave it alone and go back to waiting for a new input. So I think this EXA is done. This guy is the hard one, though. So I think we want to have a single EXA who reads the track and then goes in here and prepares it. And then when he's done, he comes back and reads a new track. Rather than forking many processes to go in here, because like then there's back pressure problems, right? You have DOSing yourself. It's going to be quite slow to read a track, right? So we want to make sure we don't ask for a new track number until we're done reading the track. And having one EXA do both of those things is how to solve that problem. So we've copied the track into X. We link to 801. Right, let me just confirm that that is the place to go. Yes. Let's mark this as track. Because this is where we'll be jumping back to after we're done reading a single track. Now, we grab X, the file that was requested, and I think, well, let's put it in T, I guess, because once we have the, well, no, because, shit, how do I even, like, I was thinking that I'll blow myself up and then pick the file back up and seek to the right position. But I need at least 2 bytes worth of storage to do that, right? The file to pick up and the position to seek to. And when I test for whether I'm at the end of the file, I'm gonna overwrite the T value, right? So I won't have space for that. Is there some solution that doesn't involve testing for end of file? I kind of don't see one. Because we need to tell this other EXA that we're done copying, right? And we need to get back to the track reader. We can't just explode when we're done. You could maybe, in principle, if none of the files are longer than 100 entries, you could store in the X register both, like, 2 digits of the file to pick up and add the 2 implicitly, and also your offset. But if you ever get above 100, that's going to be a problem. Are any of these that long? No, they're all pretty short.
Let's go.
So that seems possible, but quite a nuisance. I guess that's life, though, right? These tracks all do start with 2, right? Yeah. Oof. This hurts me. Okay, so we copy track into T, but actually we don't. We subtract from track 200 and store that in T. Let me I mul, no, mul I, t by, and I guess we wanted actually an x anyway, right? By 100. Now, now we have just 2 bits worth. I guess I don't need to do this multiply. I can make the track number be in the low bits. It doesn't really matter. Okay, and now we can like add x 200, storing the result in t, and pick up t. Alright, so our high order bits started at 0. We now need to look at those high order bits. Even though they'll be 0 the first time, they'll be non-zero on later iterations. So we divide x by 100, storing the result in t, and seek forward by t to pick up where we left off. And we just need to add 100 to x every time we read a byte. So I guess the first thing is to check whether we're at EOF, right? Test EOF. If so, t-jump to end track. Mark end track down here, which is to copy a -1 to m, drop the file, link -1, and jump to track again, right? Getting us to here, we read a new track, it overwrites our x value with what it needs to be to start over, and we can continue. Okay, now, if we didn't jump to the end of track, then we must not be at end of file. We therefore copy from F to M, sending the value that is next in the file. No, we copy it into T. Then we copy T to M, sending it to this guy. And then we need to fork in a way that we can safely explode on a keyword value. And we don't care about the value in T anymore, right? Well, I guess we just want to add, like, add 10,000 or add 100 to it and then ignore it, right? So let's replicate to a number label, mark number. And here we're going to mark symbol. I think I called it keyword, but who cares? So inside of this branch, we will be assuming that the value was a symbol. And we'll just have several no-ops waiting to get killed by the other guy. And if we don't, we'll assume it was a symbol. So let's leave that alone for now. Here's the number case. We'll add 10 to T. And note this. Yeah, we don't need the note. We have the label already. Storing the result in T, whatever. I guess that's where we have to store it, right? So if this succeeds, we must execute a kill instruction, destroying the other exa so that it knows it should not continue. And then we will copy. This is a number, so we're going to send a 0 over m. And then the sad thing is, we don't actually have to do all this. Oh, hang on. Let's, in either case, before we do this replicate business, let us add 100 to x so that we know where to pick up. I guess we need a byte marker here somewhere. Mark. We'll call this pickup. And I guess if we won the race, we'll still be holding the file and we are seeked to the right position. So we don't have to go through a drop pickup seek marker, right? So I'll just mark byte here. This is where we can jump to if the EXA holding the tape survived. Otherwise, the EXA not holding the tape will have to jump all the way back here. Okay. So the EXA holding the tape is the one for symbol. It's kind of the opposite of what I would like, but that's life. Can't really fix it. The only way to blow up is if the thing's a symbol, right? So wait. If the value was a number. Wait, what if I say REPL to yeah. I was REPL to symbol and swap these two? Now, the one who wins the race is the one who has it be... If the value is a number, which it usually will be, the one who stays alive is the one who's still holding the tape, which is very nice. So we can just jump back to byte. Otherwise, here we... no op, and then we copy a -1 to m and jump to pick up, assuming control of the track. Okay. I'm sure I missed something, but this covers like all the basics I thought I wanted to do. So let's see how it runs. This guy's over here, he's got a file, we're busy entering the password. We've read the track into x minus 200. We're gonna go in, say let's grab track 209. Divided by 100 means starting at 0. We seek by 0. Are we at the end of file? No. Therefore, copy it into T. Copy T to M, sending him that number. Then we add 100 to X, so it knows we should seek one time when we re-begin. Now we replicate, and there is space, good. So this guy should be killed soon, right? Because we're adding, and we kill it. Yes. Good. And now we say, well, I guess it was a number after all. We say, go ahead and just write that, please. And we're just continuing to read through the file one byte at a time. Let's make sure this guy is writing it correctly. Yeah. All right, let's see what happens. God, all these explosions scared me. Let's see what happens when we get to the first symbol, shall we? This is still working on the previous number. Jump to byte. Here we are. So are we at the end of the file? No. Therefore, we do not jump to the end of the track. Copy F to T, copy T to M, sending it over to the other guy. He has received SSEC, which we hope he will be told to replace with SSEA. And we... XA... Oh, yeah, okay. He's adding to X. Makes a copy. Adds 10 to a number and explodes. This guy says, well, I guess we made it. Here you go. Have a -1. And I'll pay. I don't think this guy's too complicated. I want to make sure this guy gets the dance right here. He jumps to pick up. And he notes that he should seek forward 6 times on track 9 to begin reading again. So 6 times is 0, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That looks correct. File ID not found. Did I forget to divide by 100 somehow? Okay. Now, this guy is our new winner, right? He sent a -1. He jumped to pick up. X is already large. We shouldn't be adding 200 to it yet. We should be taking it mod 200 first, right? Or mod 100. And that should happen right before the jump to pick up. Where is that? Here. We need to mod I... No. Yes. Mod... Hang on. That's not right. I guess it does want to happen up here, right? We mod I X by 100. Oh, instead of doing this subtraction... No, hang on. Here. So X already has some junk in it. We can't just add 200. We have to first mod I X by 100, storing the result in T, and then add 200 to T. Okay, that looks more promising. Well, it looks as promising as the last one did, but we saw the last one failed, so... Alright, we got the 2 guys going up here. This one has survived. He sent a -1. Now we're taking X mod 100, gives us 9. Adding 200 is 209. We pick up that file, divide X by 100 to get 6, and we seek forward 6 times, and we just start going again. That's amazing. All right. So let's see what happened. How's this guy doing? He's copied everything correctly, but replaced SSEC with SSEA. Incredible. And we'll just do this little dance one more time. Test EOF is true, so we jump to end track, sending a -1 to this guy. He says, was it -1? Yes. Therefore, go to end, which is to remove that. Compare this file with 1209. We have 12 values in 209. And it's a little harder to tell because it's narrower, but there's still 12 values here, and they look like the right ones. So how's this guy doing? He picked up a new track number. Amazing. Track 4. He's just gonna get going, huh? And the values are looking pretty good here. Right? I think we got it. That was quite an involved... The idea of branching before you do something explosive was sort of clear to me. Like, I thought of it ahead of time. But how to actually detect whether you're in the safe case, like whether the other guy didn't explode, the answer is he has to kill you. Okay, so it's sort of an external branch that happens outside of a single exa. Cute. This is extremely slow and makes me wonder if other people figured out a way to do this much faster. Like, why are the test cases all so long if there's nothing that interesting happening in them? But, you know, now we can play Nintendo DS from Japanese regions, I guess. How exciting is that? Everyone else figured out way better ways to do this. Oh. Why? What did I do wrong? There must be some more clever way to detect a keyword non-destructively. Look at this. This is the worst. I wouldn't mind this so much. I don't know what activity is, but mine was very high. How else could we possibly detect this? I don't get it. Huh. I guess we could have the writing bot be the one who detects explosions, I guess. But if he dies, someone will come out from the buffer and grab the tape, so I don't really want that either. That was a lot of work just to play one game. Think it'll be worth it? We'll see. This is exciting. Time to play. We have Hack Match and Meeting with Nivas, but those are going to have to wait for the next episode. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.